Alright, so I just wanted to make a short video to address one concern that people have brought up with my argument, and make a couple more notes concerning the last video I made. So firstly, the thing that's most important, but I think, as far as I can tell, least necessary, if you saw the whole video that I made on the Spacetime Stack, you already know this. My argument is completely inconsistent with simultaneity. I do not believe simultaneity is real. I think simultaneity is an illusion. My argument is entirely object-oriented, and that's how I know it works with the maths, because code eventually all breaks down to maths. It has to go down to binary at some point. Well, before quantum computing, but still, it's still maths. So, that's how I know, because I've written my argument out in pseudocode before, and it wouldn't, I'm holding off doing it again. That file was corrupted, but yeah, when I get more education, and I'll try that again. But it's completely inconsistent with simultaneity. I do not understand why people feel the need to link time-having flow with simultaneity. There is no intrinsic link there. I have never been able to see one. I have read extensively on the subject. I have read the people who say that it's supposed to be intrinsically linked, and most of their arguments come down to just, well, obviously, and sorry, it's not obvious. If it's obvious, it shouldn't be hard to describe why. Then, yeah, the other arguments concerning it, in my view, they focus a bit too much on language, and the ones that I've read, I've always found that you could defeat the argument just by saying, well, if there isn't a word, create a word. You can make your own words. You don't have to use the ones that are already there. So, yeah, the ones that focus just on tense and words, they don't really, they don't excite me. But, yeah, anyway. No simultaneity. It's just inconsistent with my argument. You don't need simultaneity in order for time to have flow. Second point I wanted to make was the argument that's actually closest to mine. Like I said at the beginning of the last video, that it was growing block theory, that it was moving spotlight theory. But the one that's actually closest is the new one that came. I think the paper was published in like 2015. I'd only read it once before I made that video. And I've since read it a couple more times, and yeah, by far the one that agrees with my theory the most is the fragmentalist view. Essentially, we're saying the same thing. The only real difference, other than our methodology, is random events. I believe that my methodology is a little bit simpler. I think it's a little bit more eloquent. It's object-oriented, which makes it work with relativity really, really well. And yeah, it's easy to explain. As far as I think it's easy to explain, but it's my theory. I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, the main place where it differs is random events, because if you don't have random events, there's no reason really for the stuff we're talking about where time has flow. So yeah, where was I? Right, yeah, so the fragmentalist view, in my opinion, it's just, when you compare it to block theory, just in general, it feels a little bit superfluous. It does allow you to describe the flow of time, but it doesn't give you a reason to, which brings me to my third point, which is, why would you believe that there's a reason to describe time having flow? And the more that I learn about dark matter, the more it looks like dark matter is evidence of time having flow and random events. It appears to me, it looks like dark matter is essentially objects that are temporally dislocated, so they're somewhere different, either before or after the instance of before or after where they are from our frame of reference when we perceive them in our instance of the present. So yeah, then you see the gravity coming from the different places that that same particle is, and that's what dark matter is, which means that it's actually testable, which means that the way that you would test this is if you can find on the small scale evidence of gravity without any particle to associate it with, then that is dark matter. It's a temporally dislocated object, and you're just seeing the echo of where it either was or will be from our frame of reference in our instance of the present. So like I really never thought that within my lifetime there would be a way to test this. But the more I learn about dark matter, the more I think that it really is. That's what it is. So anyway, yeah, let me know what you think.